They have such fora and they organize such meeting. I remember as part of Kerala we have a Kerala Science Congress where we have opportunity of meeting so many people and discussing the issues related to conservation and development. And probably Odisha is one of those few states where it is happening. Yesterday when I was just coming from and as we entered Odisha, I could see the riverscape of Mahanadi. And let me also confess that I did not see Odisha for a pretty long number of years, even after joining the service. It was only in the after 2016 or so that I got a chance to come to Odisha. My image of Odisha was it's a state where a lot of mining happens, a lot of other issues, and conservation is not a priority. But when I came to Odisha, and I came for a very official purpose, effectiveness evaluation exercise. And that was the opportunity when I saw some of the prestigious areas, your Bhitarkanika, Simlipa, Chilika, and many other small protected areas which probably the normal human beings who come to Odisha, they will never get a chance to see those areas. It's such a rich area, and with all these pressures of development, the state has been able to protect and preserve these areas. Is something which probably many have to learn from the state. And my competitors at large of the state, the professionals who have been able to do this, the scientific community, and everybody in Odisha who has been responsible for making it happen. Today, I think we are a developing country, or we are already much ahead in the development. People no longer issue, it's so sensitive issue that we cannot leave this issue only to the professionals and the forest department. We need many people in the society who should take responsibility of conservation, particularly in the development sector. The entire landscapes where we are talking about development, there is a need that the conservation should become part of that. And that requires different fora where we can discuss these things, where people can contribute actively. And I think this is one of such great fora where
CF Wildlife, Government of Chhattisgarh, and an Indian Forest Service officer from 1994 batch, currently serves as the additional Principal Chief Conservator of Forest Wildlife for the Government of Chhattisgarh. In his role, he oversees wildlife conservation initiatives and has been actively involved in addressing the decline of state animals such as the wild buffalo by proposing conservation strategies.
So, not only we in Odisha, in Chhattisgarh, in India, but the whole of world. Once Einstein have told that when we want to solve a problem on a much higher plane, on that which we described, we created the problem. So the problem we have created in hundreds of years through our own science, the science that we saw as a panacea for our life, but that has come as a endangered our existence itself. So this we have to talk to a very great, and the solution is also not simple. I would like to quote Yuval Noah Harari in his book Sapiens. He has called Homo sapiens, we humans, as the ecological serial killer. Means we have systematically wiped out all the species, and we want to stand alone in this planet. And can we imagine what would when we are filled with only humans, or our AI-based creatures, computers, robots, and no plant, no elephant, no bear, nothing, no natural thing, then how would our planet, our world would look like? So we have to think everything in that scenario.
A warm
Conservation in the context of growing human dimensions. When we refer to growing human dimensions, it is all with this increasing population, increasing requirement of this increasing population, how this planet Earth can sustain. This increase in population has resulted in increasing area under agriculture, area under infrastructural development, more mining to meet the need, more road for better facility, railway networking, and to meet all these agricultural demand, irrigation, dams, canals, all those developmental activities are related directly or indirectly to loss of habitat. Why I say loss of habitat? Because whether forest land involved or not, these kind of structures directly or indirectly affect the habitat for the wildlife. If there is forest, you cannot go and convince a family whose only earning member died because of elephant. I'll just share you one example. I was given the charge of Saraikala. Just in the evening, one person was going in the cycle and the elephant killed that on way to his home. He was the only earning member. He was a teacher and wife. When the elephant killed that person, all the Kharsama, the place is Kharsama, all the people of Kharsama, they were so much irritated with this incident. They went with Masal to just blow away the range of his forest, demanding let the DFO come. The Deputy Chief Minister was the Forest Minister. He advised me not to go because the people are so much irritated with the incidents, anything can happen. But I garnered courage because I am a Odia and I will talk in Odia in Kharsama. And I was knowing most of the people of Kharsama because I had a lot of interaction. I conducted so many meetings. So I had the courage to go there. But still, with police force, I went to that place. When I went to that place, one old lady of 70 odd years, she came with a bamboo and to beat me. When she touched my body with that, so many people came because I was knowing most of the people, they stopped that. So only the answer is sustainable development. When the last time, I remember we were talking about, talking here, that connecting people with the planet. So that time I asked a question, see, the world now is thinking that people should be connected to the earth. This was really alarming that when you are a part of this planet earth, how you think yourself, it is you are different. And there is a now need to tell you that you connect yourself to the earth. So that was the question I asked when we were discussing in this particular program last year, connecting people with the planet. So we ourselves thinking we are different from planet. So because not many speakers are there to speak, so I will try to conclude by saying one small Sanskrit sloka, Ayam Dhijaha Paravati Ganana Laguche Tasam Udara Charita Nantu Vasudeva Kutumbakam. ये वसुधैव कुटुंबकम हम शुरू से बोलते आ रहे हैं never go after others' wealth. Here I talk about others' wealth is your forest. Your forest is the wealth of the wildlife. जिसके ना सुन सकता है, ना बोल सकता है, ना कुछ आपको कह सकता है. So this wealth we are taking away. So unless and until we think of the wealth of the wildlife, that is their habitat, then we cannot preserve the wildlife for a long time.
Elephant come, they almost you can say the number of deaths is usually very high, maybe around 100. And even elephant also because it is around that number only, but elephant is not only because of poaching, it is because of other various factors. Poaching has now almost controlled to its extreme extent but some deaths are coming because of electrocution, which is basically a part of development. And to control this two elephant and other animal death by government of Odisha has initiated so many units most of them are having arms in wildlife area. And so we have heard so many, see the outside question also, normally it is a global looking big event. Climate change, environment.
One tusker has come from Conclave wildlife. About 1.5 month, he is moving around here. So we have a, the morning walkers are coming there. So we have a walking track of 3 kilometers, 1 kilometer within the bottom garden and 2 kilometers almost within the forest area. After some time, because we have stopped the entry inside the forest, so some people, elderly people, politely they ask me, how long it will take elephant to stay there in the forest area and what kind of steps we are taking for driving the elephant from that portion of forest. Our reply was, we are not taking any step for elephant has come from one block of Conclave Wildlife Sanctuary to another block of our side. And elephant is moving still in his habitat. We are only taking precautionary measures not cause any damage to our property. And we are praying to Lord Jagannath that on his own he will move to Conclave Wildlife Sanctuary. So, helpful to the forest department and all the recommendations that will come, we will try to implement it at our state. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We had a program in New Delhi, in the Prime Minister's residence, where the Prime Minister proudly announced of the country that the tiger population of the country has doubled. So I told them, I'm not X species. So in a forest system, particularly our central Indian forest system, the tiger is the apex species and tiger is a territorial animal. It marks its territory and survives there. Lonely animal, loner generally. So it marks its species, territory. How does it mark its territory? Because it identifies a territory such that he will get sufficient food material. For survival of a tiger, it requires 500 chital units. Suppose there are in the area which is his own 5 chital units. If there are some birds, there will be less number is required. There are wild cohorts, then there is a less number required. But if you talk in terms of chital unit, for survival of one tiger, it requires present. And what are these chitals? They depend on the grass and food, green materials and all that. So, for survival of the ungulates, they require certain amount of fodder. And in the food chain, there are also co-predators, scavengers, they are also included in this. Now, how this grass and plant grows? For that, they require moisture, water, and soil. When this tiger population has doubled, what does it indicate? Indicates that the prey population has also proportionately increased, which also implies, or the green biomass has also been increasing, which implies that the moisture or the water in the forests and soil are intact and also increasing. For us, if you see as a human beings, as a country, our lifeline is water. All the rivers, they all come from the catchments and all the forests are in the catchment. And if the tiger population has doubled, the catchments are healthy and the water security is provided to the country. So the populations of the tiger doubling is a guarantee of the lifeline of the country on water security. And that is why there is no better reason for the Prime Minister to be rejoicing that the tiger population has doubled than anything else. So, human being, and why I am saying this, human being is a very, very selfish species. Unless you connect Why I'll do that? How does it help me? I'm not interested. Why help the tiger? We go, suppose China. There are more tigers in China and America than India. But those are all farm tigers. Those are farm. That is not the that's our tigers. We have 77% of the world's naturally occurring tigers, the wild tigers in India. So that is something to be proud of. That in our forests, 77% of the world's tiger population is there and are protected. And our water security is assured. And this is something we can compliment the country's people because India is only 2.4% of the world's geographical area. Our geographical area of the country is only 2.4% of the world's geographical area. But in this 2.4% area, we are supporting 19% of the world's human population and also 19% of the cattle population, who depend on the forest. In spite of this, India is amongst the top 10 countries of the world in forest area-wise and forest health-wise. That is, if you see the carbon stock and the rate of sequestration, there are only 15 countries in the world which are carbon positive, and India is one of them. So this is something which we should be seeing. And here we can compliment our people because by nature, there is Angul culture area, the other is Sambalpur Sundar area. You look at Similipal. Similipal is a vast area, compact forest full of dense fodder for the elephants. And the elephants which stay inside Similipal, they don't come out. There is no man-animal conflict in Similipal because they are staying inside, they are left alone, they are living there. An elephant requires to travel a lot, 80 kilometers minimum, they will walk in a day. So they are happy. So there is no problem in Similipal area, culture area. We have lot many roads going, linear infrastructure, this thing. I was DFO technology in 1986. I had absolutely not a single, I was there for 3 years. We had no issues regarding elephant. No, never. There was not even a single complaint of man-animal conflict. Now you see we had this Rengali, right? The elephants were trapped. Where do they go? Now the present DFO Deccanal, if you ask him, what is your main problem? It is elephant. Because every day, herd of elephant has to cross the national highway, cross the railway line and go to the other. No, you remain in that. They are not zoo animals. They have to travel. So, but I would say that state government of Odisha is doing very well in this thing, and man-animal conflict has been there and will always be there. And here we have been always insisting on it. Mr. Suresh Mahanti was one time very emotional when he was PC of Wildlife and talked before the Chief Minister that you don't do anything to our elephants. Elephants have to be given, come what may. Then they said that if there is a conflict, let us avoid that conflict by compensating the people. Suppose Artha was now talking about somebody died. The conservation program in Odisha started in 1970s, 71, 72. I think then Dr. Mustard come and this thing. And in those days, they counted about 70 odd crocodiles in the Vitarkanika or water bodies. It was very dedicated wildlife, forest there, he would that. And it was so difficult to take this in because this eggs of this crocodiles has an axis. If you tilt that, it will not hatch. So very carefully the nests were taken from the wild and hatched in the hatchery inside this Vitarkanika. And now we have stopped counting because the number has become so large that if you count, people will say that why are you having so many crocodiles? We are now saying it is 1,700. I am sure it must be much more than that. From 70, it has gone to 1,700. So these are the success stories. Again, with the people's cooperation and all those things. But the persons all over the world, particularly India, I tell that it is we are very conservation oriented. But if you see all over the world, people always are thinking about their own self. We are very selfish by nature. I give an example. The nut trees stopped fruiting. There was no fruiting in the hazelnut trees. We are getting so much of our seeds from there, so much of fruit, and nothing is happening now. Then the research was conducted and they found that the hazelnut tree's pollination is done by a particular insect which habitat is in a bush which has been cleared. So because the bushes have been cleared, the insect died, the pollination stopped. So in the God's creation, human being is just only a small part. But by trying to act God, you cannot. We want hazelnut, but we don't want all these shrubs and bushes. No. Everything will prosper. There will be trees, grows, everything will. Only for things which will be affected are our pet animals. But all the wildlife and the trees, they will be all very happy. They want for species of millions trying to say, now it is gone. So we are depending on nature. We are actually there. So as Artha was also saying that one effort can be made for conservation of nature. You know, Chilika is our pride of the state, and it's a lagoon. It is connected to the sea through a mouth. In the 90s, late 90th century, or before 1990s and before that, this mouth was getting choked. So the exchange of salt water and fresh water was getting stopped, and Chilika was becoming a swamp. So many rivers get into Chilika, and Chilika was a brackish water. So there was a different species of fish, crocodile, all amphibians, water plants were there, but it was becoming a freshwater swamp. So this Chilika lake was doomed to die out, and it was put in the red data book of the IUCN. That nearest the future, this is the first natural body to die out. So when Dr. Patnaik was the CDA, head of this Chilika Development Authority, they convinced the state government, they took a very strong decision that we will open an artificial mouth. The mouth was open. The exchange chain, there was seawater and freshwater exchange took place, and fish production and every product, fish production, the biodiversity of the Chilika went back to its original days of when the production all has gone up by 20 times and also given livelihood to so many people. So what else? So there can be models and methodologies where we can take the people along with us and be successful in our conservation measures. As a result, this Chilika is the best example of that, because this was the first instance when something which was put in the Red Book was removed from the Red Book. Which was saying that it will be removed from the Chilika is doomed. This was the first instance that a natural body which was said to be doomed, that is put in there. Many species which are now in the Red Book, and I am sure with your efforts of these organizations like yours, we can get it back to our this thing, and we can have methodologies of getting our all the endangered species back in their nature again.
IFS. Sri Atatrana Mishra, IFS, Deputy Director General of Forest, MOEFCC, Government of India. Sri Prem Kumar, IFS, Additional PCCA, Government of Chhattisgarh. Dr. Anil Bharadwaj, IFS, retired, ex-Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, HOFL, Government of Kerala. And lastly, Dr. Anup Kumar Naik, IFS, retired, ex-MS, NTCA and ADG, Project Director and Chairman Naik, to felicitate Dr. Prakash Jan. We conclude the inaugural session. It is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of Evergreen Forum. I extend my deepest gratitude to Sri Siddhant, to Forest and Wildlife Conservation. We are also grateful to Sri Suresh Pant, IFS Principal Chief Conservator of Forest and HOFF, Government of Odisha, and Sri Prem Kumar Jha, IFS Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, CW, LW, Government of Odisha, for their leadership and commitment to exemplary contributions to conservation efforts. I also take the opportunity to appreciate the tireless efforts of the organizing committee